It's 8:45. Now, earlier in the programme, the chief executive of IAG, the owner of British Airways, Willie Walsh, told us that the airline's performance is, quote, very good. That's not what many BA passengers think. The airline is dropping in the world rankings. Its staff are on strike. You'll remember the grounding of flights when someone in the airline's computer centre pulled out the wrong plug. And don't even get economy passengers talking about the lack of free food on board. So what's going on? Well, Rita Clifton is a brand strategist. Simon Calder is travel writer. Good morning to both of you. Rita, you helped create BA's iconic World's Favourite Airline campaign. Has the brand suffered since then?
Yes, I mean, it's been a very, very difficult couple of years for this brand. And it's a tough old world in the airline market, very complex, lots of things can go wrong. And they certainly have over the last couple of years. Sometimes you felt as though a plague of frogs was just about to arrive. However, having said that, a lot of people would like to see British Airways succeed. They do still have a lot of strong goodwill, a lot of very talented people and so on, and they're making some very good investments.
And Simon Calder, I mean, from what Willie Walsh was saying earlier, he actually singled out our premium and business customers are loving it. They love it. And actually, if you're in premium or business on BA, from what I see, it looks as though they're having a much nicer time than those of us back in economy who are having to pay for our food and the like.
Yes, and if you look at the numbers, they're making £2 profit a second, which is very convenient for them, very sharply upwards. But of course, people in the premium cabins in short-haul flights are also not having a particularly nice time, like us down the back, having to pay for our 7 o'clock in the morning gin and tonics. However, it doesn't seem to be doing any harm. British Airways is densifying its fleet, squeezing in more seats on its short-haul Airbuses and up to 52 new seats in its long-haul 777s. The planes aren't changing, and the number of seats is going up.
So, Rita Clifton, does that suggest that actually a company like BA can play to one market, those who can afford a better class of ticket, and just drag everybody else along at whatever standard they wish, and people will continue to use the airline?
Well, you have to be very careful not to have a schizophrenic brand. I mean, if you think about some premium brands like Waitrose, like Armani, I mean, they do have value offerings. You have Waitrose's own brand essentials, you've got Armani jeans, and no one expects you to have the catwalk version. But the important thing is that you build a premium image around the main brand. And then, of course, you need to make sure that you have a good product, whether at the front or the back. And of course, in the airline market at the moment, you've got to punch up at the front end with suites and lots and lots of quality service, and you've got to punch up at the back in terms of price and in terms of size of seat too. It's a tough world.
Well, except that, of course, let's go back to the absolute basic. Of course, I want an airline to be affordable. I want it to be punctual. Ideally, I'd like it to be comfortable. But most of all, I want it to be safe. And British Airways, along with Ryanair and EasyJet, has such formidable levels of safety that I think that is part of its brand. And that's why it's doing so well, even though it is locked into the most ferocious competition of any airline in the world.
But the sort of things that people are picking up on our social media feed today, the moment Willie Walsh came on, they started putting out there, here's Chris Maslanka, who says, I was booked on BA for the first time in many years. I thought the service had gone downhill in these last few years. Anthony Calder says he went to Amsterdam recently on BA and he says was refused a bottle of champagne because it was for first class only. Those are the sort of things that people expect from BA. Does it matter that over the years they will not get them? Does that chip away at the image?
It absolutely can chip away at the image. If you think about what makes a strong brand, you've got to, number one, clarity of what you stand for. You've got to make sure that people know you're a premium airline. You've got to make sure that everything that you do builds to that. And also you've got to make sure that you've got leadership that really epitomises that too.
But if you've got over half the slots at Heathrow, the world's most desirable airport, you could be a whole lot worse and still make a lot of money.
Rita Clifton,
Absolutely.
Simon Calder, we've got agreement there. Thanks very much.